Here's a truth that will shake you awake. You've been negotiating with your own worth your entire life, settling for crumbs when you deserve the whole feast, whispering when you should be roaring, dimming your light to make others comfortable in their darkness. Imagine this. You walk into a room and every single person you meet reflects back the way you secretly see yourself. If deep down you doubt your worth, they'll look past you. If you carry shame, they'll step away. But if you love yourself without apology, the entire room changes. The truth is, life rarely treats us better than we treat ourselves. Until we change that inner script, we keep waiting for validation that only we can give.
So today I want to take you on a journey that is both practical and poetic. We're talking about loving yourself so loudly that the world has no choice but to listen. About accepting nothing less than the life you deserve. What it actually means to love yourself more and to know your self-worth backed with psychology, grounded in practice, and lifted by philosophy. Self-worth matters more than most of us realize. Psychological research shows it links to almost every outcome in our lives. Our mental health, our relationships, even our career paths. Carl Rogers, one of the fathers of humanistic psychology, believed we all carry a self-concept, a mental picture of who we are. If that picture is clouded with shame, rejection, or self-hate, we end up living like a shadow of ourselves. When you practice loud self-love, you activate what researchers call the approach system in your brain, neural networks associated with confidence, optimism, and goal achievement. Quiet self-doubt activates the avoidance system, networks linked to anxiety, withdrawal, and self-protection. The practical poetry of this principle. Your voice is the instrument of your worth. When you play it softly, the world forgets you have music to offer. When you play it at full volume, the universe remembers who you are. When we think of self-love, we often picture gentle whispers and soft affirmations. But real self-love is fierce, it's protective. It's the lioness guarding what she values most, her own worth. When you love yourself loudly, speaking up for your needs, celebrating your wins, and refusing to shrink, you're literally changing your biochemistry. Now let's step into the psychology of self-love. The brain, through neuroplasticity, is constantly rewiring itself. When you repeat harsh self-criticism, you carve deep grooves of doubt into your mind. But the opposite is also true. Self-compassion practices, like those studied by Dr. Kristen Neff, prove that treating ourselves with kindness, especially in failure, makes us more resilient than self-criticism ever could. Research also shows that people with higher self-worth set healthier boundaries. They say no without guilt, they choose partners who respect them, and they recover faster from setbacks. In other words, self-love isn't just about feeling good, it's about living strong.
So, here is the question. Where do you start? First, let's explore 7 research-backed strategies for developing unshakable self-love. Each one is practical, proven, and something you can start implementing today. Because loving yourself is the foundation for everything else you want to create in your life. Number 1. Let's start with something you can change immediately, your internal dialogue. Most of us carry an inner critic sharper than any enemy outside. Write down the harshest words you say to yourself, then pause. Would you ever say those words to a dear friend? If not, rewrite them. Instead of "I'm such a failure," shift to "I failed at this task, but failure doesn't define me, it teaches me." This is the core of cognitive behavioral therapy, reframing thoughts to weaken negative loops and strengthen new ones. Studies show that people who practice compassionate self-talk for just 2 weeks show measurable decreases in cortisol levels and increases in oxytocin, the bonding hormone. You literally become chemically more connected to yourself. Number 2. Embrace your imperfections. Here's what perfectionism really is. It's self-abuse disguised as self-improvement. Research on perfectionism shows that perfectionists actually have higher rates of anxiety, depression, and life dissatisfaction compared to those who embrace their imperfections. The psychology behind this is straightforward. Your brain interprets this as constant threat, keeping you in a state of chronic stress and hypervigilance. Dr. Kristen Neff's studies reveal that recognizing your struggles as part of the shared human experience, what she calls common humanity, reduces isolation and increases resilience. When you realize that everyone struggles, everyone makes mistakes, and everyone has inner battles, your own imperfections become less threatening. The truth is, perfection is not just impossible, it's boring. Your quirks, your struggles, your unique way of seeing the world. That's what makes you interesting and lovable. When you embrace your whole self, including the parts you wish were different, you free up enormous energy that was previously spent on self-criticism and redirect it toward growth and joy. Number 3. Practice boundaries. Every time you say yes when your body screams no, you teach your nervous system that your needs don't matter. Start small. Decline one invitation that drains you. Say no once this week, just once. This micro act reinforces the truth. Your energy and your time are valuable. When you have weak boundaries, you're essentially telling your nervous system that you're not worth protecting. This creates what psychologists call learned helplessness. Your brain stops believing you have control over your own experience. But when you set loving boundaries, something powerful happens. You activate what researchers call your internal locus of control, the belief that you have power over your life outcomes. This single shift improves mental health, relationship satisfaction, and achievement across all life areas. Every boundary you set is a declaration of your worth. You're saying, I matter enough to protect what's important to me. This isn't selfish. It's self-stewardship. When you model healthy boundaries, you give others permission to do the same. Here's the practical truth. People will treat you exactly how you teach them to treat you. Your boundaries are the curriculum for that education. Number 4, nourish your mind, body, and soul. Self-love isn't just an emotional practice. It's a holistic approach to how you care for yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually. When you take care of your physical body, you're sending a clear message to your subconscious, I'm worth caring for. This creates what psychologists call behavioral activation, positive actions that reinforce positive beliefs about yourself. When you consistently care for yourself across all dimensions, you create what researchers call upward spirals of well-being. Small acts of self-love compound over time, creating dramatic improvements in how you feel about yourself and your life. Create daily rituals of self-respect. It doesn't have to be grand. Dressing well for yourself, journaling, preparing a nourishing meal, taking 10 minutes of silence before the day begins. Each of these actions is a signal to your mind, I am worth showing up for. Research shows that consistency matters more than intensity when building self-love practices. The key insight, self-love isn't just about how you think about yourself, it's about how you treat yourself through your daily choices and actions. Number 5. Develop your unique gifts and passions. Here's something powerful. When you invest time and energy developing your natural talents and pursuing what genuinely excites you, you're not just becoming better at those things. You're building evidence of your own worth. Self-determination theory, developed by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan, identifies 3 basic psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When you develop your gifts, you satisfy the competence need, which directly increases your sense of self-worth. Every moment you spend developing your gifts is a moment you're investing in yourself. You're saying, I believe I'm worth this time and effort. This investment mindset is foundational to genuine self-love. People who regularly engage in activities they're passionate about show measurably higher self-regard and resilience. When you honor your unique gifts and interests, you're not just becoming more skilled, you're becoming more yourself. Number 6, practice gratitude. Gratitude isn't just about appreciating what you have. It's about appreciating who you've become and how far you've come. When you appreciate your own journey, your struggles, your growth, your efforts, you activate the same neural networks as when you feel loved by others. When you regularly acknowledge your own growth and efforts, you're training your brain to notice evidence of your worth and capability. This creates what psychologists call positive confirmation bias. Your mind actively seeks proof of your value rather than evidence of your inadequacy. Learn to build a practice of self-gratitude. Each night, write down 3 things you appreciate about yourself. Not achievements, but qualities. Gratitude rewires the brain, boosting dopamine and serotonin. Self-directed gratitude teaches your mind to recognize your worth, not just in what you do, but in who you are. Number 7. Surround yourself with love and limit toxicity. The people you spend time with directly impact your capacity for self-love. Research on social networks reveals that emotions spread through social connections like viruses, both positive and negative. If you're surrounded by people who criticize, judge, or drain your energy, it becomes exponentially harder to love yourself. Mirror neuron research shows that we unconsciously mirror the emotional states and attitudes of people we spend time with. If you're constantly around people who don't value you, your brain starts to mirror that devaluation toward yourself. When you love yourself enough to be selective about your social environment, you create conditions where self-love can flourish. Here's where psychology meets philosophy. We often chase love outwardly, forgetting that our worth isn't given, it's recognized. Philosophers like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius wrote that freedom begins when you stop needing external approval. Stoicism reminds us that no man is free who is not master of himself. Loving yourself, then, isn't indulgence, it's foundation. Without it, every achievement feels hollow. With it, even small victories feel profound. You are not a vessel waiting to be filled by others' validation. You are a fire already lit, and the more you tend that flame, the brighter the world becomes around you. So, here's my challenge to you. Choose one strategy from today's video and commit to practicing it for the next 7 days. Notice how it feels, track the changes, then add another strategy. Self-love is built one choice at a time, one day at a time. Treat yourself as if you are someone worth fighting for. Rewrite one inner criticism into kindness. Learn to say no when you mean it. Create one daily ritual that honors you, because self-love is not a feeling, it is a practice. And self-worth is not earned through others, it is remembered within yourself. If this sparked something in you, share it with someone who needs a reminder of their own value. And as you step back into your world, remember this: you are enough, as you are right now. Thank you for watching, and subscribe for more.